The smoke was everywhere. I couldn't see. I couldn't breathe. My children were screaming in my arms. We were trapped on the second floor. The stairs were gone. Just fire. I knew we were going to die. I held my babies and I prayed, not to God, to Padre Pio, my grandmother's saint. And then something impossible happened. The flames split open. Like a curtain, a path appeared through the fire. I ran. I don't know how. The fire didn't touch us. Not even our clothes were burned. The firefighters said no one could survive that room, but we did. My name is Giulia Marchetti. I was born in Rome, Italy in 1960. I grew up in a normal family. My father was a bus driver. My mother worked in a bakery. We weren't rich, but we were happy. We had a small apartment in a working-class neighborhood, the kind of place where neighbors knew each other, where everyone looked out for everyone else, where children played in the streets, where life was simple but good. I wasn't particularly religious growing up. I went to church on Christmas and Easter. I said my prayers before bed when I remembered. But faith wasn't a big part of my life. I was more interested in boys and music and fashion, normal teenage things. But my grandmother was different. Nonna Sofia was deeply religious. She prayed the rosary every single day. She had pictures of saints all over her apartment. And she talked constantly about one saint in particular, Padre Pio. He saved my life once, she would tell me, during the war when the bombs were falling. Everyone was running and screaming. I prayed to him and the bombs missed our building. I would nod and smile. I didn't really believe her. Old people exaggerate, I thought. Old people see miracles everywhere. She gave me a small picture of Padre Pio when I was 16. Keep this with you always, she said. He will protect you when you need him most. I put it in my wallet to make her happy. And I forgot about it for years. I got married in 1985. His name was Marco, a good man, a carpenter. We bought a small house in the suburbs of Rome, 2 floors, a small garden, a place for our children to grow. It wasn't much, but it was ours, our first real home together. In 1986, our daughter was born. We named her Sophia, after my grandmother. And in 1988, our son was born. We named him Luca. 2 beautiful children, a boy and a girl, perfect. Our family was complete. Our life was perfect. December 15th, 1990. A date I will never forget. The night that changed everything. It was a cold winter night. The children were already asleep. Sophia was 4. Luca was 2. Marco was working late on a construction project. I was alone with the kids, just me and my babies. I went to bed around 11. I was tired. I fell asleep quickly. I don't know what woke me up. Maybe the smoke, maybe the heat, maybe the smell of burning wood, maybe something else. But suddenly I was awake. And the world was on fire. I opened my eyes and saw orange. Orange everywhere. The ceiling, the walls, the door. Flames were eating our home, and the smoke was so thick I could barely see. I could taste it in my mouth, feel it burning my lungs. I screamed. I jumped out of bed. The floor was hot, burning hot. I could feel it through my slippers. I ran to the children's room. Please, God, please let them be okay. They were still in their beds, crying, screaming, terrified, but alive. I grabbed them both, my babies, my whole world. Sophia in one arm, Luca in the other. They were heavy together, but adrenaline is a powerful thing. I ran to the stairs, but there were no stairs, just fire. A wall of fire where the staircase used to be. The entire first floor was an inferno. We couldn't go down. We were trapped. I ran to the window. Maybe I could jump. Maybe someone could catch us. But it was too high. 2 floors, 7 meters. If I jumped with the children, we would die. If I dropped them, they would die. If I stayed, we would burn. There was no way out. The smoke was getting thicker. I couldn't breathe. The children couldn't breathe. Sophia was coughing, crying. Mama, Mama, I can't breathe. Luca was just screaming, that terrible, terrified scream of a baby who doesn't understand. I fell to my knees. The air was slightly better near the floor, but not much. And the fire was getting closer. I could feel the heat on my skin. I could hear the wood cracking. The house was dying around us, collapsing, burning, falling apart, and we were going to die with it. It's you. That moment, I thought of my grandmother. I don't know why. Maybe because I was about to die. Maybe because I needed someone to pray to. I thought of her stories about Padre Pio. I thought of the picture she gave me, the picture I still carried in my wallet. I held my children tight, and I prayed, not a formal prayer, just desperate words from a desperate mother. Padre Pio, please help us. I don't know if you're real. I don't know if you can hear me. But my children are going to die. Please, please save my children. I'll do anything. Believe anything. Just save my babies. They're innocent. They don't deserve to die. And then it happened. I don't know how to describe it. The fire was everywhere, surrounding us, closing in. And then, suddenly, it wasn't. The flames in front of me split open, like someone drew a curtain, like Moses parting the Red Sea. A path appeared, through the fire, through the smoke, a corridor of cool air in the middle of an inferno. I didn't think, I didn't question, I just ran. I held my children, and I ran through the fire. The flames were on both sides of us, so close I could feel the heat. But they didn't touch us. Not a single flame touched us. We ran down what was left of the stairs, burning wood collapsing around us, but always missing us, always falling behind us or in front of us, never on us. We reached the front door. It was on fire, but when I pushed it, it opened. And we were outside, in the cold December air, safe, alive. I fell on the grass. I couldn't run anymore. I couldn't stand anymore. I just held my children and cried. We were alive. We were alive. My babies were alive. And then I smelled it. Roses. In the middle of winter, in the middle of a fire, the unmistakable scent of fresh roses, surrounding us, embracing us, as if someone was there, holding us, comforting us, protecting us. The neighbors had called the fire department. They arrived minutes later, but by then, the house was gone, completely destroyed. Nothing left but ashes and charred walls. Our entire life gone, everything except what mattered most. A firefighter found us on the grass. He looked at us like we were ghosts. "Where did you come from?" he asked. "From the house," I said. He shook his head. "That's impossible. No one could survive that. The second floor collapsed 10 minutes ago. The temperature in there was over 800 degrees. Everything is destroyed. Everything." He examined us, looking for burns, for injuries. There were none. Not a single burn, not even on our clothes. Our pajamas were intact. The children's hair wasn't even singed. "This doesn't make sense," he kept saying. "I've never seen anything like this. This is impossible." The investigation took weeks. They couldn't explain how we survived. The fire started from an electrical fault. It spread quickly, too quickly. By the time I woke up, the whole house was engulfed. There was no way out, no logical way out. "Spontaneous fire pocket collapse," they wrote in the report. "Created a temporary safe zone." Scientific words for what they couldn't understand. But I knew the truth. The fire didn't create a safe zone. Someone created it for us. I told a few people about what happened, about the prayer, about the flames splitting, about the smell of roses. Most people didn't believe me. "Shock," they said. "Trauma. False memories." The brain creates stories to explain survival. Maybe they're right. Maybe I imagined it all, but I don't think so. But I know what I saw. I know what I felt. The flames opened like a door, like a pathway to safety, and we walked through. My grandmother died in 1992, 2 years after the fire. On her deathbed, I told her what happened. She smiled. "I told you," she said. "He protects those who call on him." Even after death, he never stopped protecting. I visited San Giovanni Rotondo that same year. For the first time in my life, I went to Padre Pio's tomb. I knelt before it, and I cried for hours, thanking him, thanking God, for my children, for my life, for the miracle in the flames. Sophia is 38 years old now. She's a teacher, married, 2 children of her own. Luca is 36. He's an architect, building homes, strong homes, safe homes, homes that won't burn. They both remember that night. Not clearly. They were too young, but they remember the fear. And they remember being saved. Marco rebuilt our house on the same land, with his own hands, but this time he built it differently, with fire alarms, with escape routes, with sprinklers in every room, and with a small shrine to Padre Pio in the living room. He wasn't religious before the fire, neither was I. We are now. In 2002, Padre Pio was canonized as a saint. I watched the ceremony on television with my children, my grandchildren. We all cried because we knew. We knew he was a saint long before the church declared it. We knew because he saved us. He saved us from the fire. He opened the flames and let us walk through. I'm 65 years old now. I've lived 34 years longer than I should have. My children have lived their entire lives because of one moment. One prayer, one miracle, one saint who heard a desperate mother. Sometimes people ask me if I believe in miracles. I don't just believe. I walked through one. The fire that night destroyed everything. My house, my belongings, my old life. But it didn't destroy us because someone was watching. Someone who died 22 years before. Someone who still protects those who call on him. Someone named Padre Pio. My name is Julia Marchetti. I should have died on December 15th, 1990. My children should have died with me. But a saint opened the flames, and we walked through the fire without a single burn, unburned, alive.